How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout, the YouTube channel where you subscribe to learn about new cryptocurrencies, old cryptocurrencies, and all things related to cryptocurrency news and the advancement of these great technologies as we see, this growing paradigm shift as it's really exerting itself across multiple layers of society. So we look at Cardano in particular in this video, talking about smart contracts, talking about Ethereum, and essentially what I really want to focus the conversation on today is how Cardano has been positioning itself respectively and in accordance with the overall trajectory of where we're seeing the possibilities of a interconnected global system where people realistically will be using cryptocurrencies in the near future, not only as an investment, but to actually accomplish everyday things. I mean, right now we have a huge hurdle that needs to be jumped over on two fronts. One of those is regulations, and essentially connected at the hip is the public conversation regarding these things, and essentially that's going to tie into when in particular we're going to be seeing people, the everyday users of USD, the euro, and the yen and the peso. When are we going to see Bitcoin replacing the United States dollar and all these different fiat denominations in everyday purchases? So i.e., when are we going to see people walking into a Dunkin' Donuts and pulling out their Bitcoin wallet and essentially using that to buy a cup of Joe in the morning on their way to work? This is an interesting vision of the future, and I think Cardano's really has a team in particular that's going to be positioning itself realistically right up front to definitely see a lot of the different possibilities that are going to be made as that realistically that paradigm shift exerts itself. So I'm definitely excited to be exploring a lot of the different potential potentialities that are available, and certainly we're seeing Crypto Recorder releasing this article, 3 reasons why Cardano will be huge in 2019. This is an interesting article. A lot of different news that's really obviously I take the news with a grain of salt. Famously I don't necessarily trust all this, but it's certainly an interesting indication of what the public conversation is, and I like to listen to everybody, get all different sorts of opinions. So in that respect, definitely recommend all of you to post comment down below letting me know what you think about Cardano. But without any further ado, we're going to be getting an idea of where we can be expecting to see this technology in the light of these recent developments, partnerships, and all these different things that have been happening from that sort of data analytical perspective that we all love. So this is going to be a good video. Get ready. So again and again, we've been seeing this conversation about the community's desire for open source experience. I was actually watching this interesting video here where they essentially talk about it as an expert mode. Realistically, moving forward, I think that Cardano really is expanding themselves in a way where they're going to be positioned very strategically as we see the shift of the paradigm really commencing. Now, as we witness more and more of these technologies, cryptocurrency in particular, having its place in day-to-day activities of people who are interacting on all sorts of different levels. One thing that definitely sets Cardano apart from the cryptocurrency crowd is the fact that they're introducing competition into the system. The level of customizability that Cardano is really working with here, I think, is going to be a key pivotal thing that's going to be playing a huge role as far as we see Cardano having this opportunity to learn from the mistakes of the cryptocurrency that preceded it. Certainly, we're looking at the bare bones essentials of what's going to be the making of an actual practical application of this sort of thing. So just looking at Twitter, all the different basically conversations that have been happening on Twitter, obviously it's interesting to see how Cardano is such an active community on Twitter. But in particular, I was watching Cardano breaking trend lines. This post from 17 hours ago. People have been paying attention to that. I mean, obviously 17 hours is like multiple days in the world of crypto. But then again, I think that as we've been seeing Cardano making these different developments and so forth, it really is paying off in a large extent as far as seeing like the community and how they've been really moving forward and spreading the awareness about the actual potential, and definitely seeing where the team has been taking this project. It's definitely a key fundamental example of where we could be expecting to see cryptocurrencies taking us as things continue to move forward. So currently basically we have Cardano in the number 9 position as things currently stand, this being 2018 and all, but it is important to remember, just a quick recap. I mean, obviously the market cap's at 207 billion, the volume and all these different things, Bitcoin dominance at 53.8, and steadily essentially moving sideways. For the most part, we've seen Bitcoin stuck in that $6,000 space, much different from what we were seeing last year, with it at that $20,000 all-time highs. But then again, there is sort of that every other year thing with cryptocurrency that people talk about. It's just like a vague old wives' tale at this point, but it essentially talks about how Bitcoin adds a zero every so often in accordance with a pattern of years. It's not scientific by any means, but it is an interesting thing, especially when you take it into consideration these different, like John McAfee, all of his the McAfee legendary Bitcoin predictions, and how he's been sticking to. I mean, these intellectuals of our time, these very interesting philosophical perspectives on watching these technologies as they've been developing. And I mean, I can respect the free thinking, and I think that the cryptocurrency paradigm shift is very much upon us. There is that need for the intangible aspect of this sort of global network of having this possibility of really leveraging the internet to make these different things possible. So I'm definitely interested in seeing where things are going to move from this point forward. And all that being said, I mean, if you guys are interested, you guys could also connect with us on our Twitter. That's at CryptoTuber. If you guys are interested in connecting with us, it's very easy to do so. Always happy to answer any questions or comments, recommendations, or concerns that you might have. And of course, obviously, this video is just for entertainment, educational purposes. All that being said, you all know I'm not your dad. This video is not advice by any means, and in the spirit of providing different people's opinions, hearing everybody out, what they have to say, I'm going to actually include a link in the description down to this video, this sort of speculation video by this fine YouTuber right here. I've actually watched this 8-minute video a couple times now. Talks about this sort of old article, Coinbase's exploring Cardano, and realistically, I think that this is an important concept, because I think that Cardano certainly would be a real fundamental addition to Coinbase in a large extent. I think that this sort of introduction to having this sort of technology accessible for the noobs who are realistically just getting involved with, just made their Coinbase account, aren't necessarily familiar with the exchanges. I think Cardano really is a technology that should be made available and more accessible on a platform like that. And right now, it probably is getting out competed in a large extent for that sort of share of the market, that sort of audience of people who are generally window shoppers and aren't exactly data analytical perspective people when it comes to cryptocurrency in general. But I mean, Coinbase is a great platform. I think that they definitely could use something like Cardano, a technology that's going to realistically have that vision that's going to take us into the future. But that's just my 2 cents, my opinion. Remember, this entire video is just my opinion, by the way. I'd encourage everybody to have their own opinion as well when it comes to these things, and do your own research, of course, because that's really the only thing that stands between you, and falling down the rabbit hole and not knowing your ass from your elbow when it comes to cryptocurrency. It's all about research at the end of the day. And just seeing these different news articles that's been happening by News BTC Cardano, talking about ADA bulls and all these different things. It is interesting to see how the public conversation regarding around Cardano has been developing up until this point. Now, and all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you found this information informative, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and also make sure that you follow us on Snapchat. And if you're interested, make sure you comment down below as well. Let us know what you think, what you want us to cover in the next video, and have a good one, everybody.